に購入できます。体にいいこと全部 I have。
もしかしてプロポーズ？ねえ、週末どっか行かない？
あ、ごめん、週末は出張が入ってて。
そっか。
ごめん、今日も遅くなるから先に寝てて。
最近なんか様子がおかしいんだよね。何これ？今日もありがとう。プレゼント一生大事にするね。
何やってんの？
I got that on Etsy. I've been tracking your scores for a while now, so let me take a crack at who I think you really are.
Sure thing, yeah.
Only child. Dad's a Swiss cop. Mom's an American professor. You started stealing between the ages of 6 and 8. Found out you had a real talent for it. Made you feel special. Different. You like to work alone. You don't like a team. The only jobs you take are the ones that make the big splashy headlines, which tells me that you only do it for the thrill and not the money.
Are you insane? I love the money.
I'm not done yet. I'm just getting to the good part.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There are a lot of thieves out there who've claimed to only do it for the money. That's not unusual.
Hey. So today I bought a $200 pizza, 300 mushrooms, and I put mushrooms in garlic mushrooms on the pizza, and in this it's got Italian sausage with vegetables in it and eggplant. I think tomorrow I'll finish this and I'll have it with some garlic toast with avocado. Yeah, that sausage was nice from the Brazil shop. Lovely. Ah. Although you skip. Like I need some more. Cheap champagne. Hey. The little leaf. Hello, Xavier. Juliana, how you going? You fucking cunt. Does anyone else get these messages saying they're going to bless you with $5,000, $10,000, $50,000? And what would you do if you had fucking $10,000? What would you spend it on? Bills, holiday? Do we all get these messages? And also I had some carbonara with Italian sausage and eggplant and mushrooms, garlic mushrooms. Just buy the basics. Well, the packet of carbonara is about $1.50. $1.50. The pizza is $1.40. No, it's mainly on Facebook. So what they do, they send you, oh, can you do this? You know, would you like this? Would you like that? And then for them to send you the money, you have to pay them a release fee, like $50, $100. No, they used to I used to break them up usually. No, because they've got wiring inside them, they've got a motor inside them, stainless steel sometimes, and steel. And then, at one time, they started taking... All the scrapyards are different in what they will take. And at one time, they were paying 30 yen per kilo for zapping. But this stupid fuck, he was telling me, you know, the power doesn't work. So when I get all the fucking little things that imagine being one of his kids that is like poked in all the fucking things. Sometimes the drums are stainless, and there's like there's a heavy plate. So once, see, I used to get 5,000 yen, 4,000 yen, 5,000 yen for taking them away, and then I would break them up, and then I would, if they were plastic, I would break the drums and put them in the local rubbish. Yeah, Zuckerberg doesn't. There's a Ricky Gervais fan. What I'm finding out that a lot of these fucking scam artists are coming from this Ricky Gervais fan site. So I'll put this piece back in for another few minutes. No, I'm English. We're all different. English, Irish, Welsh, and who's the other one? Scottish. We've all got different personalities. They're all fucking different. Collectively, we fight together, fight with each other, but basically, we're different. And English are the best. English have the best sense of humour. What's the difference? Well, the main difference is when a Scottish person, you get two types of Scottish people. The posh ones that speak very, very posh. I think they're from the lowlands. And they speak so fucking posh, you don't even know they're Scottish. And then the other ones, you don't know where they fucking come from. They could be anywhere. I hope Audrey's watching. What's a Brit? It's a contraction for British. Yeah. My auntie lived in Sheffield for fucking at least 50 years. And then she had two boys. Then she met an intelligent person. He was a Welsh. It was a union bloke for the electricians union. So a very big difference from her first husband. He took her to Wales, and she was speaking fluent Welsh in 1 year. Yeah. Can you believe it? I've been here fucking 35 years. Still the fucking same. Sheffield. No, it's like saying Canadians. It's like saying Canadians, Mexicans, and Americans are North American. You live in the most racist town. What's the racist town in America or England? But the Welsh have got a chip on the shoulder. Well, if you want to be, I always say I'm English. Yeah, but we are British, but it's just like saying we're all European. So we're European as well. But a lot of Europeans don't class English as Europeans. We're a separate one altogether. But you got to look at France and England. we've been fighting each other for 1,000 years. Well, for 800 years, we've been fighting each other. So you get, you know, I'd love to do a blood test. I'm sure I've probably got some French blood in me. As with a lot of French people, you know, live in Normandy and that area, Calais. I'm sure they've got, you know, they've got English blood in them as well, because we kept on fucking fighting. Soldiers stayed there, died there, and vice versa. Being British, mate, are you? Which part of England? Which part of Britain are you from? You got to remember that majority is like fucking 55 million are British, 50 million are white English people. What else? Dude, I'm not interested in metal, mate. I must admit, I'm not ACDC, I think they're from Australia, aren't they? And they did a massive concert once. Maybe at that time it was one of the biggest concerts ever. And know this, I saw this the other week. And some interviewer was trying to get him to say that AC/DC was like a sexual perversion or something like that. And he goes, no, it was just off me. It was just off the back of my sister's fucking radio. Yeah, no, it's not AC/DC, but I don't like fucking heavy metal music. You know, if you're listening to music and you're going like this while you're listening to music, then there's something fucking wrong with you. You might as well be a fucking Indian. I wonder what they're like. If you're an Indian heavy rocker fan, do they go, I like this music. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Look, yeah, I don't know. You might be paying money to say that, but I don't know. But I won't be going there, pal. 3.7 million. Fucking. That must be the world's biggest concert then. That must be the world's biggest concert. I thought it was somewhere in Brazil, for example. Paul McCartney, 250,000, but 3.7 million. Fuck. Who was performing? $3.7. I never heard of that one. Oh, In B. I've heard of In Excess. I haven't heard of In B. Japan is the best place for a lot of people at the moment, mate. Australia, America, Canada, all too expensive. Yeah, they're talking about they want to bury people in the ground, and Japan's saying fuck off. You live in Bradford, mate. I went on a night out in Bradford. This is 43 years ago, and I was in the Royal Marine Reserves, and this guy he joined us. He was a regular, And it was a fucking good night out. Good night out in fucking in Bradford. Enjoyed it. And I'll never forget this. So that we went out in lunchtime, and we met these two guys. Well, we didn't meet them. We didn't talk to them. They were in the pub, and they were like fucking. One was dressed in black, with white ties and white shoes or whatever, white glove. I don't know. And the other one was dressed in white with a black tie, black hat, whatever. Stupid cunts. And if it weren't for us dressed up as a pantomime horse, I'd have smacked him. That's it. Thanks to ACDC, and still massive, isn't it? It's like 1 million each. $7 million, get fucked. I bet the pickpockets had a fucking good day that day, because you know them Brazilians are thieving bastards. What about the biggest concert for a guy with AIDS? What about in India? Yep, that's it, yep. It might have been Rock Hudson though. I haven't had a bath in 1 week. I haven't had a shower or a bath for 1 week. They say an N-word to a guy. Eh? Yeah, he was a bit of a big head though. I've seen interviews. Is Farouk Balsara. He was very big-headed. Mike Myers made that song famous. There was nothing before Mike Myers. Now, before I did this live stream, I read a story about a scientist called Faraday. Anybody know Faraday? What song? So Faraday was a famous British scientist, a genius, and he worked. And he actually was a poor boy, and he managed to work his way up from leaving school at 14, being an apprenticeship, and then studying everything about everything. you know, especially electronics engineering. That's what I was going. I was going to make a bad joke and saying he belong. I was going to make a bad joke and saying he belongs in a. This guy belongs in a cage. But he also came up with it, you know, like anode and cathode, things like that. He came up with those terms as well. Get back at. They should be sinking the boats before they fucking... Who wants to hear a racist joke? Put your hands up if you want to hear a racist joke. Did you know that in China, because they've got lots of borders in China, they border many countries, but every time they went to war with the neighboring countries, they always lost every single war. Yes, Faraday was English, not British. They lost every single war. Do you know why? Because they got a chink in their armor. I hope so. Probably. You know, but I don't know if it's true, but they say, so I read this the other day, and it said that Scottish people, they've invented more things than English people, more than a lot of people, Scottish people. Yeah, they invented a shitload of stuff. Hello, Woody. Yeah, in Scotland, they invented McVitie's biscuits. Two Scottish doctors. Yeah, I was going to come up with a rude joke there, but we'll leave it. Oh, my leg's twitching. Off flush or full flush? Well, you know, it was the Irish. It was the Irish that invented the toilet seat, but it was the English that decided to put the hole in it. What did Monica call Bill? Probably every night after 9 o'clock. A mouthload. Would a mouthful be better? No, but he's like fucking. He was like the. He's a wannabe Prince Andrew. It's just. I met one when we was in the go. Like this guy came out with us. You know when you go out, if you go out with your mates, you go out drinking with 3, 4, 5 mates or lads and you go out for a drink and have a drink and talk bullshit. All this cunt did was use it as an excuse to chat women up in the fucking bar. I hate cunts like that. You chat women up on the way home on the train when you're drunk. I did not make love. I did not have sex with that woman. My God, have you seen Hillary? My big beautiful. Yeah. Let's just check how long you've been on. You got a question, okay. Okay. Hey. Can you go to the bathroom? Yeah, of course you can. And while you're there, shove your head down the fucking toilet. How old are you? Yeah, I'm getting a bit like that. Yeah, I must admit, I was getting some strange looks when I was in Vietnam. And I must admit, 50, fucking hell, mate, you're still young. Fucking 50, you're still young. It's only a man in his 60s or 70s can say that to you. You had a hard life. I had a hard life. My dad was in prison most of my young life. And so when he came out, I told him a joke. He didn't get it. And I just said, well, you had to be there. I wouldn't say I was an ugly baby, but when I was coming out of my mother's canal, when the midwife saw my face, she said to my mother, "Pull, pull, pull." Are you Ford rules? Are you black? I has an easy laugh. Yeah, well, someone correctly said on this channel a few weeks ago, getting old sucks. No, it's like eyes. What's the sergeant? How would you know? That was when the black person said, how do you know that black is God? Because he would have said that you is what you is. You know something, what they're saying is that all these, because most of the kids in school, they're non-English, so they're Muslim. This is a perfect time to fucking indoctrinate these little fuckers. Who can't read or write? That's the problem in America, when because I know a teacher and he says when they get to 15 and they can't read and write, and I says, well, why? I said, why did they get passed on? Why did they get passed forward if they can't read or write? When that problem could have been solved when they were 7 or 8 years old. And he said, because you don't want to deal with the same kid the next year. Yeah, now, if anyone's watching and someone sends you an advert saying, do fucking AI, tell them to fuck off. AI is going to fail. Do you mean wisdom comes with age? Well, like when I was young, I used to read a lot of books, so I was a little bit different from most kids. Well, no, they're going to people are going to start suing it. They're stealing other people's words and works and songs. This is what's going to happen with that NVIDIA. It's a fucking flash in the pan. Start shorting NVIDIA. I tell you, do you want to see my proof? My proof that NVIDIA, the AI is going to fail because Boris Johnson thinks it's great. That is what's known as the kiss of death. I don't. Is it true that kids cannot tell the time with like a minute and with an hour hand and a minute hand? Is that true? I'm going to start selling these dodgy watches then. I've got some on my desk. Where's that watch? Oh, look at this. I think that's IWH or something. Can you imagine that people bought watches because this watch you can dive down fucking 40 meters, 50 meters? I don't know, what was it? I think it was 10 to, I think it was 10 to 10. It's not, and I thought it was faulty. There's a dodgy winder on it, but it's well, it's no, it wasn't upset. I think it's the right way up. Or is it mirrored? Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. I had a question about that because I was seeing some films and videos, and it was of policemen, and they were saluting with their left hand. So that can't be right, can it? Oh, just wonder if I can get to sleep. Did anybody watch a series called Pine Gap? No, I disagree. People will start fucking like Tolpuddle martyrs. Apparently in America, they're building all these data centers, and it's fucking everyone's electricity bills up. Yeah, like I said, I watched this series last night. I thought it was really called Pine Gap, and I remember as a kid in Yorkshire, there was like these, they call them golf balls, and they're listening stations, and there's 3 places. There's one in America, there's one in Australia, and there's one in Yorkshire, in Harrogate. And I went to Harrogate on a relay adjusting course. Yeah, well, the Americans have got the best fucking equipment, haven't they? They've got the best everything. So it just means they can kill whoever they want. They can kill insurgents. So in 20 years' time, when the Muslims take over America and the local rednecks are going around shooting them, will the local rednecks be called insurgents? So this beautiful French girl told me the other night that it can't be champagne unless it comes from Champagne in France. No, that's which I thought was crazy. Like a lot of companies around the world, they started laying people off because of artificial intelligence. Oh dear. Yeah, it's on this series. You should check this. It's on Netflix now. I thought it's a really good fucking series, and it was like mainly Australian and American actors, and it was really, really good. But it didn't get a big fucking boost on Reddit or Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, Pinewood, yeah. And so this Australian woman, she said to her American counterpart, he said, well, look at the last fucking 4 wars that you've been in. you lost every one. What 3 things? US, Australia, Harrogate in Yorkshire. I'm not sure if it was Denver, maybe in America. Denver, Pinewood in the they're listening posts, so they listen to everything that's going on in the world. And I'm guessing that the people that work at these places, they're very switched on cookies. Yeah, so it's six shows with just one series, and maybe they left something hanging there in case they want to do another show. Am I on the Epstein files? I couldn't afford to be on the Epstein files. I have no fucking money. It's only the fucking rich, famous, and powerful that are on the Epstein files. But you're not the first. You're not the first person to ask that. Are you on the dickhead files? I think I'll, once I've drunk this cheap, 600 yen for this bottle of champagne. And I was saying to this French girl the other week that I can have this at 600 yen or pay 10 times as much for 6,000 yen. So I'm thinking this is, the 600 yen is the better, it's a better choice. I've just started watching a show. And it's called Younger. I've never seen or heard of this before, but it's very funny. It's about a woman who's in her early 40s, and she decides to lie to everybody and tell everybody that she's 24. It's really funny. Yes, I watched that film, Snowden. It's quite good. And so in this Pine Gap thing, they said part of the script said, we don't want another Snowden. I like that one. There was a whistleblower in America, and he was telling everybody that billionaires don't pay tax. You know that cunt with the fucking neck? He's a leader of the fucking Republicans. He had a fucking neck, and he married into like a Chinese person for all the wealth and power. Ugly looking cunt. And when someone came out with this because we need to find this whistleblower. We don't want the American public knowing that billionaires don't pay tax. Anybody else want to see Bitcoin fucking go to zero again? If Bitcoin goes under fucking $1,000, then it's the time to buy. Yeah, I know Snowden is, man. Like I said, I watched the film. He now lives in Moscow. He's a goddamn commie. Okay, man. I get you. In Wales, there is a mountain called Mount Snowdon. I'm fine, thank you. I want to stay alive until I'm like 120, just to see how badly the world can get fucked up. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. And if the CIA are watching, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm from England. Where are you from? I'm going to switch this fire on. I've got a fire right at the side of me. I'm going to switch it on. You're from Wales, mate? Have you ever been to land ferries? Land ferries is a mountain in Wales. And what they do, oh, you're asking me? No, I'm from England. And they pump all the water in the night time. They pump all the water to the top of this mountain, and then what they do, they release it, and it powers turbines, and they have electricity for the Welsh people. A very interesting day trip from Sheffield it was. Well, where are you from, all in space? No, they pump it back up at night time. So they I don't know if they still do that, but they use cheap no, this is like fucking 40 years ago, so I don't know what they do now. But they used to use cheap electricity from France. You're from Dubai. I just read today that Dubai has had 95 million past visitors. But have they really got all that solar power? Makes sense though, I guess. Have they got all that solar power? Where did they connect into the solar power? Of course, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Then I guess then they would release it in the daytime. I've been to the Dubai airport maybe 2 times, 3 times. There's only one way, but people never benefit from, people never get cheap power. Majority of the world, they don't get cheap power. I like that one in the Philippines and other poor countries where because a lot of them, their roofs are made out of tin sheet. And so what they would do, they would so they would screw a hole in the wall, you know, like that size. And then they would like put in like a plastic bottle like this, and so light could get into the house. War Ghost, what have I told you? After I saw that photograph of you sucking several cocks, never to get in touch with me again. I like that that Canadian, what's that crazy Canadian comedian that died a few years ago? Norm Macdonald. He had some fucking... that's how funny a comedian is, when you can remember them for their famous jokes. Okay, I'll say. So Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald is his wife's not very well, and so he goes. She's in a coma, and so the doctor says to Norm, he goes, "Well, there's been some research that if a man and his wife, or vice versa, if they touch each other when they're in a coma, that can lead to that person coming out of the coma." And so we said, "Well, are you sure?" So he goes, "Yeah, I'll give it a try." So Norm Macdonald, he goes into the room, and then 5 minutes later, he shouts to the doctor. He goes, "Doctor, doctor!" He says, "What's wrong?" He says, "She's choking." Maybe Norm tells you better, I don't know. The old chapels. Yeah, I remember when we were driving round, used to go to holiday to Hawaii, on Honolulu. So many fucking churches. The minor joke, no, I can't remember that one. I know the moth joke. The moth joke's a good one. I can't remember the minor one. He died quite young, didn't he? 60, 61. Yeah, maybe I'll look it up in a minute. I will, I'll do it. Like I said, I like Norm. Yeah, definitely one of the most unique comedians. My favorite place, the road out. Well, I've only been twice. When I got married, I went to see my auntie. She lives in Tom Pentry. And then the only other place I went to was Land Ferries. So both of them a long, long time ago. Yep. War Ghost. You'll have to get more original, mate. You're not the first person to say that. But you could be right. Normally I don't feel this tired actually this time. I haven't done it tonight. What I used to do, I'd have the screen put on in the background and then it'd be easier for me to see the comments. Better fucking move this. Shit. Uh-oh. Can I speak Welsh? No. Yakida, that's about it. Yakida, I'm not sure what that means either. Who rocked Johnny off his seat? Yeah, I watched a clip of what do you call that Jewish woman that died? You're learning well to real. Okay, good luck. Yeah, I do know one. I think the word for microwave oven is pop-de-ping. Oh, Norman, yeah. No, well, he did. I think he did that with quite a few interviewers, didn't he? Like I say, he's a very funny guy. No, what do you call the woman that died in surgery? She was fucking funny. They fucked her up. She's no woman. And so Johnny Carson was saying to this woman, she's saying that a lot. He was saying to her, all right, take care. He was saying to her, like, I've heard now that men, they appreciate a woman that is intelligent. And she said, no man has ever put his hand up a woman's skirt looking for a library card. Oh, it's fucking one of my favorite comedians. She's so fucking funny. Well, she was until they fucking killed her. I've got another favorite Jewish comedian. Yeah, she did host it at one time, yeah. She took over from Johnny for a while. And one of my favorite Jewish comedians called Gary Vidar or Vidler. A very small Jewish guy. He's really funny. Because he never laughs, he never smiles. He's hilarious. Gary you mean Shandling? No, it was a woman. I remember saying, when I first saw Gary Shandling, I thought he was fucking amazing. Very different, very new. I don't know, a long time now. At least 17 years. I shaved it for my operation, for my pacemaker. I had to shave it. But like I say, it's grown back now, so. Yeah, I need to grow it more. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I remember that. I've seen that footage, yeah, of Drew Barrymore. He had a bit of a shitty life, didn't he? He tried to kill himself twice. So he was an interesting character, without a doubt. I'm always coming up with Phyllis. In my mind now, it's Phyllis Diller. It's not Phyllis Diller. I think I'm going to start writing these names that I'm always coming up with. That's well, it depends where they go. You know, in England we had a called Jim Davison, and there was another one called Jethro from the South Country, and but they struggled when they went to north of England. They struggled. Maybe I thought Jethro was funny, but I think maybe the best comedians come from the north. How old are you? This is my screen name. Well, I think so you're still a young'un. No, but I think like black comedians, they're playing to black audiences, and so they come out with crap that fucking white audiences don't understand or appreciate, or it's fucking shite. But I think Richard Pryor was fucking overrated. I think Eddie Murphy's fucking really funny. Well, I remember, well, Benny Hill was fun. Benny Hill was, people, all, when it got to, you know, the people that don't like Benny Hill or didn't like Benny Hill, they're the same cunts that thought it was all right for all these fucking Muslims to come into fucking Britain and all over the fucking world. The same fucking cunts. You like Cat Williams? I must admit, when I first saw Kevin Hart, on stage, I didn't think it was funny, Kevin Hart. He's a funny guy. I've seen him in interviews as a funny guy. And he's made some funny films. But when I first watched his concert, I just fucking switched off after 5 minutes. I'm staying in Vietnam. Yeah, I've seen, well, Alexis Sale, he was like part of the Young Ones group in the late 1970s, early 80s. Yeah, Alexis Sale was different, without a doubt. Well, they were good, but the goodies were funny when you were fucking like 14 or 15. Vietnamese, no, it's good. It's good Vietnamese food. I remember, what's that, Rodney, what's his name, Rodney? When I first saw that Rodney, I didn't think he was funny at all. And then I started to watch him. He's fucking Rodney, what's his name? The big guy. You know how sad it is, you know, about Dangerfield. Honestly, when I first saw him, I just thought, this guy's not funny. And then you watch him again and again, he's fucking hilarious. And he had a really rough childhood, didn't he? Because his dad's new wife treated him like shit. That's where he got all the material from. But he's one of the funniest American comedians. When I was 18, I went to see the what's his name? What did you call the first comedian to get banned in America? Lenny something, Lenny or Kenny. Yeah, I saw it was what's his name? That Jewish actor. Fucking, he played the retard. He played him. I went to watch that when I was about 18. Yeah, Lenny Bruce. Yeah, Dustin Hoffman, yeah. But it's fucking it's fucking nearly 50 years ago, so I don't remember much. But I don't remember it being a funny film. I've got to stop drinking. Oh. Everyone is. What's the black guy died years ago? Comedian? Paul Robeson? I don't know if it's. I did a live. I think I did a live stream, and this beautiful Russian girl, but Doctor Uxfield, and this beautiful girl, she came past, and I said to her, buy a coconut juice or have a beer. She says, I haven't. She says, I haven't had a drink. She goes, I haven't had a drink in 13 years. I says, well, it's about time you started again. When did I leave Japan? About 1 month ago. Why? Because it's cold. You know, like some people say that Americans, they invented like the stand-up comedian, but we had people on stage in the fucking 100 years ago that were telling jokes on stage. So why don't they count as stand-up comedians? It's muggier. Kenshaw means awakening. Okay, thank you. Yeah, maybe it was getting a bit warm. I think the most irritating thing in Vietnam is when you're washing your bum with a jet stream. I wonder what's best. Yeah, I found a very quiet place actually, away from the madding crowd. Yeah, I wonder when, you know, like if you're a foreigner there, in Saigon, for example, and I just wonder how long it would be before the traffic would drive you crazy. A couple of times you're crossing the road and you're watching where you're going, and some cunt just fucking comes right in front of you. He turns the corner right in front of you. Yeah, Dave Chappelle can be really funny. And that's why he got the big money. Yeah, that's the thing that we. Oh, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, of course he does. Well, everyone does. But like, I went to 3 weeks last year in the Philippines, and on the streets you get pestered more in the Philippines. I remember like selling, because I used to give like food and money to these little kids and buy them fruit and things like that. Have I ever been to Sydney? Yeah, of course I have. Yeah. And so I let go. So you give him like so much money for these 3 towels, and then I says, I gave you some. So I says, I gave you some money yesterday for the 3 towels, and she more or less said like, well, yeah, that was yesterday. Maybe she had a fair point. I went to Sydney, yeah, and we went out Sydney night, about half a dozen of us, and I was voted the least drunk, so we swapped drivers on the fucking Sydney Harbour Bridge. This guy didn't like the way I was driving his car. So I don't think there's not many people that have done that in Sydney. Pissed, drunk. Pissed, pestered. Pissed, pestered, pesto. I don't think you could change drivers on a fucking Vietnamese road. Oh, kid pest, yeah, all the time, yeah. And it's not just kids, it's adults as well. But like I say, if it's a communist country, why the fuck aren't they sharing the wealth? You know, I can imagine like in America, they're not sharing the wealth. Well, they do give money to homeless programs in America, but other people steal all the fucking money. I could change from being alive to not alive. What do you mean by that? Do they? No, they don't drive on the left side, no. On the Vietnam, yeah, you got to be fucking careful. I saw a foreign girl and she's crossing the road while using a phone. And if there's one place you should never cross the road using a phone, that's fucking Vietnam. Yeah, I did make a video about that as well, where it's like I was in this one area and it was just like a few streets away and it was really fucking quiet and peaceful. And it seemed to be like maybe a bit upmarket. And this woman that was open, she had reasons why it was always busy. And it's always, wherever I've been, it's always intrigued me. Why is there a constant flow of traffic? But like in Vietnam, like in most countries, there's like a rush hour. Like in Nagoya, there's like between like 7 and 9, something like that. 7:30, 9:30, and then like 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, 7:30. But in Vietnam, there is no slowdown. It's rush hour fucking all the time. Well, British roads. Well, if you, yeah, but if you're driving, well, let's put it this way: there are less fucking accidents on British roads than American roads. Why are you heading to Nagoya? You grew up in Coventry, you poor bastard. Oh, Coventry doing well now in the Football League. You're going to Shirakawa? I know where Shirakawa is. You know. What do you mean by you're going to Shirakawa? Yeah, I saw a joke on Jimmy Carr show where someone said a lot of people think there's the old story that in London the streets are paved with gold, and this Claudia Winkleman said, yeah, no shit, and then this guy from the South Country goes, yeah, they're paved in shit. Yeah, isn't it like a lot of places now where you can learn in an automatic car? I think what that bullshit is when you do the they have it in Japan as well, where you've got to take like a off the road test as well. Yeah, well, if you're going to Shirakawa, go to Shirakawa. There's a science museum. There's a science museum in Shirakawa Park. No, it's not fucking difficult to learn. It's when we were kids growing up, the most difficult thing you could ever do was taking the English French oral exam, where you had to speak in French to the teacher, and they'd take you in a small room at the back of the class, and that's when you would do your French oral test. And now people are under so much pressure, they're starting to drop that test. Why are you dropping that fucking test? Cheers, kid, you Belmont. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And why are they dropping that test? The Japanese, they're shit scared of doing that. But it's a lot harder for Europeans to learn Japanese and Japanese to learn European languages than it is for English people to learn European languages like French or Spanish or Italian. What, so can you speak, parlez-vous français? Quel âge avez-vous? Kid you. What's my name? Je m'appelle Gary. But the thing is, no, but I'm guessing that if you took your, because you have the same thing in Japan as well, you can have a test, you can have a car with a automatic or non-automatic. Well, yeah, because when you said it was brutal, I thought because it was brutal, you might have learned something. My name is, why? My name is, je m'appelle. Well, I can remember my French from fucking 50 years ago. When I started learning Japanese, French words came to me mind, French words. Yeah, I figured that, man, yeah. But our French teacher, Miss McNulty from Scotland, she kept saying the past participle. I had no idea what a fucking past participle was. What the fuck is a past participle? No, languages are interesting, mate. They're interesting. Oh, yeah, her name was McNulty. Yeah, all the French teachers were young English, apart from Mrs. McNulty. The other two teachers, they were cute and they were French. They were English. So, well, maybe they won't understand my Scottish, but I'll try my French on them. Maybe the Scottish, they learned, they wanted to teach the English something about the Jacobite rebellions. Okay, I've got a question for you. Okay, you've got a Scottish friend and he says something to you. How many times do you ask? How many times do you ask him to repeat it before you pretend you understand what he said? French women live to the Jackson. Yeah, I met a French woman on holiday, and I was speaking to her in some kind of in French, and but it's amazing accent, isn't it? If spoken to you by a French woman. But I think that, honestly, I think the coolest language is Russian. That's the coolest language, without a doubt. Especially when spoken by a woman. But you like the French, but you said you don't speak French. Or you said you are, or you were saying you were English. Yeah, but do you know that Tintin, the pronunciation of Tintin is Tantan? Did you know that? And the pronunciation, and the pronunciation of the Australian biscuit is called Tim Tam. Yeah, I visited a friend in Hong Kong, and they were all these fucking, they were working for KPMG and all these fucking companies. They were on massive salaries in these apartments in fucking Hong Kong. And the shit penguin. Yeah, you know, penguins, they were on sale. I bought some the other week, and this week they were on sale. No, the Russian is easier to learn than no, because it wouldn't take long to pick up the alphabet. But they took us to this nightclub or this men's club, women's club, and the fucking women were unbelievably beautiful. They're fucking unbelievably beautiful. I haven't had a club biscuit. I'd love a club biscuit. But apparently, I bought these penguins because it'd been such a long time since I'd eaten a penguin. I'd shot a few on my travels, but a long time since I've eaten one. But Tim Tams are Tim Tams are great. And I must admit, I think there was lots of chocolate on the fucking... there used to be lots of chocolate on the club biscuits, didn't there? And there was a song 40 years ago, or 50 years ago, to say, if you like a lot of nappies in your washing, join the club. He gave up on Russian. I don't know. There's one thing that because I like to look at languages. And the one language that I gave up on, I thought was impossible, was fucking Thai. Sawadee Cap. You know, but you know, Romance languages, Italian and Spanish and French, they're easy to pronounce, yeah. Carp, how to carry. USA cookie, UK biscuit. Yeah, I think everyone knows that, mate. Yeah, Welsh is the romance of language, that's true. If your girlfriend is a sheep. Yeah. Don't get excited, lovely boy. How can the fucking French be the how can Welsh be the romance language when the word for a microwave is pop-de-ping? What do the Irish shag? 4-leaf clovers. There was a joke a long time ago. It must be 30 or 40 years ago, and the price of lamb or sheep was so fucking low was so low that the Australian sheep farmers, they would shoot the sheep because it was cheaper to shoot the sheep than it was to take them to the docks and sell them. And so there were these two Australian sheep, and they were going up on the gangplank on a ship for New Zealand. And so another sheep said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Where are you going?" He says, "Well, we'd rather get shagged than shot." No, well, I don't. Well, I can say that I don't think Russians, looking at it, Russian isn't difficult to learn. I really don't think Russian is difficult to learn. And he might have there might be some kind of other blockage, even if he's got an IQ of 155. And he speaks 5 languages. There's some kind of other blockage if he can speak 5 languages, but he wouldn't take on Russian. For example, there's no inflections, there's no high tone, there's no low. There aren't 4 different tones like in Chinese. So there's some kind of other thinking going on there. You're turning in, where are you? Yep, just eat plenty of blueberries. Yeah, well, give us a shout when you get here. I don't know where I'll be then. Anybody tell me the time in America now? What time is it now? Yeah. I'm just checking on battery strength. What was the 8:30? He is a space cadet. Maybe I should go down and get 1 can of beer. $3:30. Okay, you're in the okay, man. So it's about 5 a.m. East Coast. So when a long time ago, my auntie married this fucking paedophile, and he was saying to me that they cause trouble. The powers that be cause trouble for the lower people by introducing racism, arguing things and bullshit like that, just so that they don't attack the echelons. A lot. SOB. Okay. Are you talking about the guy that speaks 5 languages? Well, for example, I can give you a reason now. If this is the guy and he works at Lockheed Martin, one main reason for not speaking Russian would be they would think he was a fucking spy. All his workmates and employees would think he was a fucking communist. That's a good reason for not learning fucking Russian. And if you did learn Russian, they might push or put you in positions where you could use that Russian and put your life in danger. So there's several reasons to that. That's a blockage why you wouldn't want to learn Russian. But physically and mentally, if he could speak 4 languages, normally that would just encourage you to learn more languages. How old am I? I'm 66. How old are you? Are you female and interested? He's a plane mechanic. Yeah, I don't think they call people plane mechanics. I think they're called aircraft engineers. You're from India, okay. Why the fuck aren't you in Canada? I don't know. Did they ever do a thing on the internet where they're asking what is the average age of person who uses the internet? On a C-130, okay. I've been in C-130s. I was at Bryce Norton. We were doing a parachute course, and we were going to do a jump from a C-130, but it was just too windy. It was like 35 knots, and you can't jump out of a plane at 30 when the wind's 35 knots. Very fucking dangerous. So we never did a live jump. We just did I did a balloon jump from 800 feet. And if the chute doesn't work, you're fucking dead. No, so you only worked on 2 things? Yeah, I don't. You know what, DB Cooper? I don't think he lived. And the main reason for that is he would have just been bragging about it and talking about it. Someone would have dubbed him in. My uncle, there was a massive in England. There was a massive fucking cigarette robbery, and my uncle had some land, and he took this lorry. He put it on his land. It was £1.5 million worth of cigarettes, and it was fucking packies, and one packy fucking dobbed him in. He told them where it was, so he got the reward like £150,000. And my uncle got 18 months. My uncle got 1.5 years in jail. No, but you say he had a very high. We're talking about the game with the guy with 5 languages and high IQ. Oswald, you're talking about Oswald, the shooter. No, Oswald didn't do that. You notice his head, the president said when he got shot, his head went backwards. Well, I did there was something I used Cusinik or something like. I did my self-test 144 when I was like in my teens or early 20s. I did my own IQ 144, and I'm sure it was a lot higher. But the thing with the IQ is, the more aircraft, like the people that land in that work in aircraft control, on the airports. The aerospatial thing, that's one of the fucking most important things. The aerospatial. If you can, really intelligent people can fucking do that. It's not like fucking answering fucking history questions. Answering history questions, that's just memory. Working out aerospatial things, that's intelligence. Yeah. Yeah, you say, but that's not really a compliment, because the average intelligence is like fucking 100. My granddad said that to me. So my granddad said that to me because you're average, you're more intelligent than average. Yeah, because the average person is fucking stupid. So basically they're saying you're not stupid. So it's not. I think if you're fucking clever, like my daughter, you don't pay to go to university. That's the way to judge. That's the way I would judge. That's the way I would judge an intelligent person. You don't pay to go to university. People would look at you and they would say, they'd look at your exam results, they'd talk to you, they'd interview you, and they would say, we want this person. And this is what it used to be like 50 years ago, when 5% of the population would be, in my opinion, 5 to 10% of the population would be intelligent, and they would go to university. Well, I know what I think is really intelligent people, or people that can write a book. When you can work out plans and plots to write a book, I think they are the most intelligent people. And the people that can learn languages really quickly and pick it up and understand, those are the intelligent people. Artists, songwriters, comedians. Paul Sykes. Paul Sykes the boxer. Yeah. Well, maybe he was intelligent, who knows. I'm not talking about authors that have got tributes in that, and they got like for well, because he was always telling people he was intelligent, wasn't he? But if you write a book, and like the last 20 pages are like mentioning other fucking authors, or this. I took this from this book, and I took that from that book. If you've got like 20 or 30 pages mentioning other fucking people, yeah, you're not really an author. Yeah, but I know him because Paul Sykes was from Yorkshire, where I'm from. What book did? Well, if it's an autobiography, mate, it's not really. I'm talking about a story, something you made up, and which. Well, look at Boris. What fucking books did Boris Johnson write? Because he can't fucking speak, can't talk. I've never understood a fucking sentence. If I watched him for 10 minutes talking, I doubt I would be able to pick out more than 2 sentences what he said. Hey, Stuart. Ooh, 10,000 yen. There was another big boxer from Yorkshire. He had a fight with, was it Dickie Dunn, Richard Dunn? He had a fight with Muhammad Ali. I think Henry Cooper should have fucking been the world champion because he knocked him down, didn't he? And then they fucking cut his glove. Oh my. All right. Been having a nice chat. Someone gave me 548 yen. Yeah. Henry Cooper was a freak. Why the fuck would you say that? No, why would you say that? Henry Cooper wasn't a freak. He was a great boxer, great British boxer, and a very nice fucking man. I can't understand why you would say that. No, I really don't understand why you would say that. No, what do you mean a freak talent? He was a fucking boxer. Him and his brother, they were both boxers. Lennox Lewis, great boxer. No, but I think fucking Mike Tyson was full of shit. You know, when he says all this, when he said that all these boxing medals, all these like his belts, they were like a waste of time, and real love is his family. Get fucked, you fucking short tongue cunt. These fucking bollocks. Then I've read stories when he goes to parties and he starts touching other men's wives' arses. No, I don't agree with that, mate. But someone said about Mike Tyson, you couldn't consider him a great because all of the great world champions, they came back. They lost, and they came back. Tyson never did that. Well, why? They've got that, what do you call him? Jake Paul something? No, he's probably doing too much fucking smack. Look at, like, what's his name? The Irish boxer. Doing too much smack. Well, you get. But no, but there are other boxers, and you know, like, and they used to fight continually. You know, they'd have like hundreds of fights, and they'd have fights where like it was like 20, 30, 40, 50 rounds. So what kind of people were those? I don't know if you've ever been, if you're not trained fighter or boxer, to fight for, you know, like I did judo, and if you had like 2, 3, 4 minute fights, it was everything. You just fucking fucked. You're tired. You can't do it. Most people couldn't last a long time in a fight. This is why you've got to grab the throat. I like Lennox Lewis. One of the best quotes ever was Lennox Lewis when Tyson said, "I'm going to eat your kids." He says, "Well, yeah, well, first of all, you're going to eat my fists." Yeah, but there's just so many sports, isn't there? And like everyone likes the cage fighting. Hey, Murray. There was a Muhammad Ali. He said the hardest puncher was Ernie Shavers. The acorn. I don't know what you mean, my friend. The acorn. I don't know. Is there a boxer called the acorn or something else? Or are you just trying to say something? Hello, pen name. No, I haven't heard of those people. Jason Ellis. Escape? No, I haven't, no. Can you imagine like someone like Ali, who took a lot of punishment, and George Foreman, if they say Ernest Shavers was the hardest puncher, I'm guessing that Ernest Shavers was the hardest puncher. I was a bit, and to be honest, I was a bit disappointed that George Foreman died. He was like 75 or 76. I thought he might have lasted, because wasn't he a preacher? So maybe he didn't drink and smoke, but he still only got to 75. I think there is something with athletes and Olympians. Their life. They don't have a long lifespan. Johnny Weissmuller, Olympic swimmer, 75. Yeah, too waiting with fucking $200 million or something. And and he had 3 children also named George. So don't you think the other kids were upset that because he had 6 kids, 8 kids, and he says, "Why didn't you call me George, Dad?" Yeah, Shane Warne, 54, yeah. Yeah, well, there is a thing in life when someone says it depends on the heartbeat, because your heart is an organ, and someone's tied it up to how many times your heart beats. Like for a butterfly, for example, or a sparrow, it beats a lot, or a hummingbird, it beats a lot per minute. And like something like a tortoise, it doesn't beat so much. And so they cue that to the length of your life. But if you're an athlete, when I was in my 20s, my heartbeat was like 50. It was 50 beats per minute because I was very, very healthy. And it's same with these boxers and athletes, their heartbeat. So they work very hard, but the heartbeat goes down. So it's not beating as fast. So theoretically, they should live longer. Yeah, well, I think, someone said this a long, long time before Bill Gates went to Pedophile Island. But apparently it's a lot to do with diet as well, what you eat, and how many friends you've got. so I think I'll be dead in about 4 weeks. When? Good question. No, I'm drinking less. Yeah, I'll tell you something now. If you drink, since I don't drink as much as I used to, and I used to drink a bit, and like have a 1 or 2 beers. I'd drink at lunchtime, maybe 1, 2 beers, and then I'd drink when I get home. I'd have a beer and then a bottle of wine, sometimes 2 bottles of wine. But now, because I don't drink so much, I can remember things. So I can remember where I put something or where something is all the time. Within like a fucking split second, I remember where that thing is, what I want. And that's been the big difference when not drinking so much. But one thing I did enjoy, I used to watch Graham Norton on a Saturday night, and I used to have like a bottle of wine, and then I'd watch the repeat show. But because when I was drinking, I was drunk, and I was watching the Graham Norton show twice, I would laugh again because I'd forgot what I'd been laughing at the first time. So that's a good reason to drink, especially if you can get a bottle of wine for $4. You quit drinking in the 80s, 80 kilograms? Well, that's 80 years, that's 40 years ago. Well, it's about time you started drinking again. Well, it depends how much you're smoking, doesn't it? Yeah, but I think that the most important thing is exercise in your 20s and 30s. And then a Japanese guy told me that before you turn 60, it's important, if you haven't exercised, it's important to like do strength training in your 50s, because if you don't have a decent body in your 50s, then you'll fucking deteriorate very quickly in your 60s. Well, my half uncle, he lived until he was 89, and I think I've got other uncles that from the same branch, the like 80s. So yeah, well, stop fucking smoking then. No, I feel kind of like 66, soon to be 67, and I've had a fucking pacemaker. But I was warned like 20 years ago there might be something wrong with my TikToker. Well, then, if you want to die before you're 60, and if you live in England, Germany, Australia, or Canada, yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, well, okay, mate. Australia. Yeah, there's there's many reasons why people don't want to fucking carry on. I'll tell you, I'm thinking about it myself. So she'll be right, mate. Yeah, it's a fucking, it's a great worry. It's a great worry, isn't it? You know, when especially if you're married and you've got kids, you're a young man, a young family with kids. It's going to bring unbelievable stress. Yeah, I was earlier. I was talking about Pine Gap. Have you watched that show? That's quite a good show. I think a great, if you know, like someone that's have a rogue person, whichever country, and next time they have that Davos meeting, fucking a fucking nuclear bomb, because all they don't give a fuck about the world. These cop meetings? They don't give a fuck about the world. They just give a fuck about how much money they can make. I just can't see that sense. I just can't see that sense in people where all they want to do is make more and more money and pay less and less tax. Do you mean now evil rules the world? But it probably always has, mate. This is your photo. I can't see your photo, mate. It's fucking too small. Hello, Fabian. Hello. But sometimes despair is the only thing we've got to hold on to. I think that's what that, you know, the guy, you know, the guy that shot the Japanese prime minister. So what was about, because of these fucking religions. So the religion, and it's not the first religion to do this, they took this woman's house, $670,000, and that should have gone to the son, but it was signed over to a fucking church, and this church was supported by fucking over 100. They took 100 Japanese politicians took donations from this fucking church, because it was a church is what a church does. And so this man's despair led to him killing the fucking prime minister. Let's just get rid of this wanker. No, but the thing was, the fucking Japanese, what useless cunts the security detail was, because they were looking all at the prime minister. No one was looking out. So if there'd have been everyone was looking this way, and if two or three of these people had been looking the opposite way, they would, one, have been able to see anyone coming towards the prime minister. They would have been able to see this guy raising his fucking weapon towards the prime minister, but they were all looking in the one fucking same direction. It's just like, we know when they have these concerts. No, when they have these big concerts like Taylor Swift or the Rolling Stones or whatever, all the guards, they're not watching fucking the Rolling Stones. They're watching the crowd. Your daughter is a Swiftie. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. She's a good singer. She's a good person, good singer. Many fucking parents have daughters that are Swifties. Well, wasn't that in Austria something, some kind of crackpot in Austria? I have 2 adult children, yes. No, but the thing is, if she paid her staff 200 million, let's just say that's off. It says she got 400 staff. She paid $500,000 each. But they probably want to fucking retire. We're all my workers. We've all retired, Tim. I don't have to dance again. Thanks. Yeah, well, I'm sure she paid taxes on it. I'm forever stripping copper. I've got some strips. I've got fucking loads of stuff to separate. So the good thing I was too lazy not stripping the copper that now the prices have risen, so it's good. How old are your children? Well, you can't because you're too gay, Glenn. That's the problem. That you really surprised me when you said you were getting married. There's only there's only much there's only so much straight tea can do. I've just been to the Vietnam, Glenn. So I was told, and I was told there's a thing, like when I was in Vietnam, I saw lots of old men walking about with young girls, and I think that's what I should have been doing. But apparently, there's a lot of young tourists. They are embarrassed by watching elderly men walking about with young girls. What's wrong? I can't see where is it wrong? If you're helping out a young girl and a fucking bodyguard, what's wrong with giving them some money and sharing it around? No, I just read about it. Yeah. Well, yeah, he said he goes round in the car and looks for it. Well, I've got. So recently, in the last 6 months, I got a load of transformers and like big thick wire. So I've got to cut all those up. Got to break the pots as well. Their age. Yeah, I got a few strange looks when I was in Vietnam, and they just automatically assume you're a fucking a sex tourist. Doesn't matter. You're putting money into the fucking economy. Why is it in a big shit uproar? Did they kill too many innocent people or something? You like, oh fucking hell. Jerry Seinfeld has joined the fucking Jerry Seinfeld joined the fucking group. Cheers, Jerry. Well, I'm going to say, when I was in the Philippines, I helped a young woman. Well, she was 42, and I helped her get a place. And I've been talking to her. She can't. So I said I'd send her some money today. Like fucking 20,000 yens, about 3 million. It's about a third of a month's salary. So hopefully she can get. So I didn't want to fucking help her out, and then all that help going to waste. She should back out on the fucking streets. But these fucking communist countries, they don't help people. And the fucking when the Western countries fucking help them too much. Why do you want to know? Ford rules. maybe next week I'll be in Vietnam. I say yen instead of pound. Oh, yes, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm in Japan, yeah. Is it under the radar or under the blanket? How much does the happy ending cost? Is it known as tent mechanics? I think if they're from Vietnam or from the Philippines, shouldn't it be like shouldn't it be cheaper? $50 to $100. Okay. Oh. Well, the supermarket's closed. Yeah, I think that, and I saw this guy. I think he'd been living in Japan. He went back to Canada, and they said, "We want to see your fucking phone." He said, "What do you mean? What you mean you want to see my phone?" Because they wanted to check if he'd been a sex tourist. But surely he's helping fucking poor people and helping fucking tourists, as long as he's not fucking a little kid. Is that in America, the websites? Oh, yeah. While the American women are all over 21 stone. Right, I'm going to get off. Maybe go and grab one beer. And then no more beer for a while. Where are you, good son? When you set out here. It was a joke, Josh. Right, guys, I'm going to get off. See you later. That's it.